Glory Models kit review time. Today we got another great release from Bandai. This time we got the 1/72 scale A-Wing. Absolutely amazing. Again, I harp on about these. We review these all the time. No doubt most of you know how good these things are, but if you haven't, please go and look at our builds. Go and have a look at the stuff on this. If you're getting into it, if you're a younger modeler, trust me, you're going to love these kits. So, usual thing. We got some great box art on the front showing it just down there, okay, and then we got some pictures of actually what you get. So yes, it literally is this good, and to be honest, they put minimal sort of work into these, minimal weathering. It's got a little bit on there, but really that is what you're going to get right out of the box. The other one you're going to see is this. You actually get the turbo laser turret system for this as well, okay, and the way it goes in, it means you can have it as a ground unit or on the full actual tower itself, and the crew figure and the bits and pieces like that. Your kit number for this one is 0206320. Okay, and we've got some more pictures just down here on the other side, as you can see, with it on the stand with the actual turbo laser itself. So in the box, let me just slip that down there. Is that actually going to stay? Something nice and heavy. There we go. So as you can see, pretty much a crown box. Usual thing, we'll start diving deep for the instructions. I get a lot of people ask me about the instructions because they're in Japanese. Yes, they are, but trust me, they're pretty simple to follow as long as you follow the proper call-outs in the proper sequencing. The very clever thing about all of their models is they hide panel line detail and you know, seam lines and stuff like that behind things. So you might get a join and then there'll be another place overlap. So it is important you take note and you do them in sequence. And like I say, with a lot of obviously Japanese manufacturers, if it doesn't fit for some reason, it usually is your fault. You've got the wrong part and the various things like that. So as you can see down here, we've got the manual. We've got various little parts just down on here. This is actually what we're talking about. You can either have on the base unit in here, you've got it down here, and with the tower itself. So that's the parts. Usual thing with the parts call outs. But being Japanese, it does mean it starts on the pull along sheet. And we'll work our way down one side and then the other. So as we can see, we've got canopy barring going in just down the back here and then onto the canopy system itself. We do have a little crew figure. The little tabs that you see looks like little post-it notes. That is for decal call-outs or stickers, depending which way you want to do it, okay? And then obviously just take note of these little things that it's saying about having the canopy obviously open and closed, things like that. Just making sure you get a rough feel for it first. Remember, you don't have to go piling in here with glue or anything else like that. These are actually snap fit kits. I know a lot of the guys, you know, obviously the guys in the forum, you know this anyway, but a lot of them will glue them anyway. But personally, I think with the exception of 2 or 3 little spots, I've never glued any of mine together, apart from the Scout Walker because it fell apart. But that was a totally different story. Go off and watch that review and that build and you'll see all about the problems I had with that one. Anyway, down here, usual thing, we're moving on to the actual engines. So we've got the engines and the sort of tail fins themselves. Usual parts going in. When you get the 2 little dashes, you can see just down on here, this means it's a click, so you push it until it physically clicks in place. It just means I sort of take a notice to that type of thing. Just remembering your left and right, things like that, they will be, no doubt, specific, okay? Right the way through, running through. Exactly the same on the other side as you can see it down here. Then we're working for this sort of midsection in between the back, okay, which is this area down in here. Putting those parts down in there. Again, just take your time, making sure you get it all sorted, lined up. Have a look at the part before you fit it, because again, if it's a click fit as it goes in, it's gonna be quite difficult to get it out without causing damage, okay? But again, it's staying about it, making sure you've got it. Obviously the front end in, can't imagine you're going to get it wrong, but just make sure you've got it all in there, check it's the right way round. The actual lasers, cannons themselves being fitted to the outside, pretty straightforward. And then we're working our way around. Now, being quite a small kit, it's not going to take long. So we've got things gear up, gear down, your options if you're going to have it on the stand, putting the stand together. Then we've actually got these parts here, which are clear parts that looks like the lasers are firing. Then if you're having it geared down, you have the option, and this is talking about putting those in. Again, very straightforward. Usually they're a nice click fit, so if you want to have them up or down, it's personal choice to you. And that actually completes the A-Wing. Not much to it, but trust me, absolutely hours of fun putting these together. Then we've got the laser turret itself. Okay, so great detail on all of these. Talking about putting them through. They are movable parts. The turret will rotate, the cannons will deflect up and down, going right the way through. and you can then put it on in this section. So you've got a top section, a bottom, and the laser turret itself up there, or you could probably use the turret as a standalone as well if you wanted to have a lower ground version of it. Again, the sides of the tower putting together and showing the deflection on there just like that. Then on the back, usual thing, we've got the thing showing the colour callouts for it. It is pretty close, not 100%, but it's pretty close to the colours in there. A little bit of weathering, and then you've got the option, obviously, for putting decals or stickers. Now the stickers, I'll be honest with you, are probably one of the best stickers you're going to get out there. Don't think they're quite as good as the decals, but if you are a younger modeler, you don't want to mess around too much, you could just put the stickers on, you're good to go. You could actually put this entire kit together, no glue, with the stickers, and then later on come back and then paint it and decal it using the actual decals and do it that way. Nice little crew figure as well down in here, showing you about that one as well, as painting him up as we saw earlier. And there we have it. Okay, pretty straightforward. Oh, looks like we missed this part here at the front. Sorry about that. But this is the actual cockpit section going together, putting in the inner panels and everything else in there, and then the A-wing actually going together just like that. Again, as you can see, the way this actually works is that it's color coordinated in these sections as we make our way through. Okay, so let's have a look at the plastic. Okay, so in the bags, we have separate sealed bags. Okay, usual thing, this is decals. So we have the actual decal sheet, you can see just here, looking pretty nice. No problem with that at all. In a moment, we'll no doubt, I can see it on the next sprue, we have the stickers. Now, if you haven't used these kits before, pretty standard, multicolour, including the clear on one sprue. Absolutely love it, works exceptionally well. Very, very nicely done. Okay, so if we have a quick run around, I just changed my view. Okay, just down on here. So starting off at the top, obviously we've got the clear parts. We have got the option, as I said, for open and closed canopies. That's why we have two done here. And again, beautifully clear, absolutely stunningly clear, to be honest. Injection molding of those. Then if we just work our way down, I think it'd probably be the easiest way. As you can see, we've got some of the details all recessed and raised, as you'd imagine, on there. Basically, just imagine these are replicas, because they are absolutely beautifully done in the colour. And you know, this is the thing, together, obviously it's a little bit too strong and too shiny and plastic looking, but you could even probably just dump a flat coat over this and weather it in and have no problem with it at all. But generally, as you can see, some great qualities, the details, the moulding, crisp, precise. The gates are very small onto this. We've got some of the black parts down here, so I imagine that's control grips, the actual canopy maskings around in here, the framework. Again, down on this side, and then over here, as you can see, we've actually got the gear. So this is the underside for the gear. So we've got the nose gear, obviously the main gear, and the doors for those as well on this. The thing is, you can notice on the back, it looks a little bit toy-like, but these locating tabs work absolutely fantastic. When you push these things together, they lock and make for seamless joins. These drums down here are classic. When those go together, it will be absolutely spotless. So that's what these are about. But again, as you can see, very, very nice. No problem with that at all, absolutely anywhere. So next one up, we've got the more white colour, but it's not even a white, it is the correct sort of cream colour. It's Floaterville white, I imagine. So what we were saying about these decals, as you can see them, these are actually the stickers this time. Okay, so you can see you've got the cut marks. These do work exceptionally well. So perhaps for the kids, younger modelers, or just guys who want to get it together, this is the way to go. They're not bad at all. I must admit, when I first saw these, I was quite horrified. Use them now, they actually work really, really well. So as you can see, overall down here, very nicely done, some nice details. So over here you can see this is obviously the bottom. I think this is the bottom. Yeah, it's the bottom. So we've got the gear door areas here. Again, beautiful mix of raised and recessed details right the way over this. This is the side, okay, running down the actual side of the sort of the wing itself. Very nicely done with the recess, the scoop, okay. We've basically got the same on the other side, as you can see as well, but this is the top half. Lots of riveting details, some very nice details. The recesses and the raised mix make absolutely fantastic. And again, when you feel these, they're sharp, which means they're nice crisp lines. Again, the other straight down the other side, and then down under here we've actually got the rear part between the engine, so we've got some of the details running down there, some more of this stuff. The tails, again, beautifully molded, very nicely done. This is the, it looks, and I beg to be, you know, this is one of those things, you go around these, Tell me that's not two F-16 intakes glued back to back, because let's face it, that's what that is. You know, no problem at all with that. And the way it's funny because you look at a lot of the Star Wars stuff, obviously that's what that was. It's two F-16, and it's the early block F-16 small mouth intakes that they actually obviously used for it, which actually I don't think the A-wing was actually in the first or fourth film. I think it was in Return of the Jedi we saw them properly, but definitely that's an F-16. So usual thing, down on the inside you can see it looks a little bit like Lego, but as we were saying, it makes for some great secure kit building. But again, one piece molded on these tailplanes, beautifully done, and no problem at all. Absolutely love it. And again, I'm looking at these and I'm seeing aircraft. You know, this is definitely aircraft parts down here of a jet. Again, I'm thinking F-16 has been used a lot down in here, because it does look very reminiscent of F-16 parts. Okay, so that will, with down here, complete the actual aircraft or fighter itself. This here is for your clear parts, so this is those clear lasers that come out. They all come with them. I don't think they're very good, if I'm honest, but it's a nice little touch if you're doing a little mini diorama. Okay, and then again, we've got the actual cockpit parts down in here. Again, there's not much detail, but it is, if you look at it, if you're looking carefully and catch it in the light here, you can see the level of detail. It doesn't look much, but when it's all together, it will be absolutely fine. So we've got the laser guns, obviously the black ones, these are the ones for the side ones. You're going to need to do a little bit of silver work in there, I think, just to put them together. But we've got the cockpit, we've got the sort of fabric on the back, all those areas as we make our way through. And we have a silhouette. I don't know why is 15? Do we have a silhouette? Not too sure about that one, but down here, as we can see, number 15 here at the top, we have a silhouette. Different. Don't know, I didn't see that in the instructions. Anyway, there we go. Very nicely done. Again, this sprue as well is almost quite plasticky. I know it is plastic, but you know what I mean? More rubbery than hard. Very nice indeed. Now, that completes technically your fighter. The nice thing about these smaller kits, because you are paying a bit of a premium, this particular kit, I think I picked it up quite good. I got 17 quid delivered out of Japan. That's when you get when you're searching around Japanese eBay. But generally it's around about 25 quid, 30 quid here in the UK. So you're thinking, well, it's only this big, it's a bit small and all the rest of it. Not much parts, but then you end up with something like this, which is where your money, it all starts to come together, because as we know with all the Star Wars figures like this, we get this, and this is the base. Okay, so you could have your arm, it goes in the base. We're going to do something in a few weeks about this, because I am going to complete my trench run. To be honest, this is what I was waiting on, because I need a few of these. Okay, so we've got some more base units to do, which I might cast a few more, but this is the turret itself. So we have another base, which is this one, as you can see, which is the first part of the actual tower. Then we've got the sides of the towers, then the turrets themselves, the turbo lasers, the mechanism, that nice, there it is, the toothing for the cog system, for the turbos, lasers themselves to go up there and everything else. But generally that looks really, really nice, and I'm quite excited about building these. And in fact, you might see this, just the turret, as a one-day build, because I quite fancy just building one, weathering in it, put some streaking into it. This isn't going to be spaced one. It always amazes me, you get ones in space and they've got oil streaks coming down, and I think, don't think rust's going to fall in space. But anyway, I'm planning on this as being one that's a ground-based, actually a planetary-based defense laser, perhaps with some streaking, a little bit of perhaps rusting on it, various things, just showing its age and everything else like that. So that's my plan for one of these. But generally, I have to say, usual thing, the casting's very nice. But, and this is where my first but is going to come in with this particular kit. Usually there's always a but not with Bandai. This, my only drawback is, I'm not sure, obviously they're going to be going like reference to the film and all the rest of it, but the panel lining or this plating just doesn't look in scale, if I'm honest. Like on here, I don't know how well you can see it, or hopefully you can see it, but it just looks to me a little bit, I don't know, it just doesn't fit the scale. You know, because I'm thinking, well, 1/72, that's going to be half a fist width. Are the plates really that far apart? I'm assuming they are, don't get me wrong, you know, kudos to the model makers who did this day one, but generally I know they would have taken extensive research. Everything is perfect on these models. These are mini studio models, okay, but this just looks a little bit, I don't know, overdone. it just looks a little bit plasticky and fake. So what I would tend to do is I will get in there and try and do stuff with that, obviously using panel line washes, dual washes. I'll probably put in a dark shade and then a black just pin wash, just to make them all highlight and give that look as if it's armoured plating on the side rather than anything else. But just looking at them, they look a little bit heavily done and a bit toyish. Whereas you compare it, to be honest, like I'm looking up here on the laser tower itself, those look fine. These just look really big. Anyway, we'll have a look when we get around to actually building this one. Because I say, I'm going to do the tower as a one-day build, really. It's going to be quite a lot of fun doing that. So there we go, that is the A-Wing. I have to say, you know me, I'm a massive fan of Bandai. I can't wait till they take over the world and start bringing out aircraft and armour and all the rest of it. I've got some Gundam stuff we're going to be doing later in the year. I'm going to be doing some more of these. I'm definitely going to be doing the A-Wing and the tower system. We've got the trench run coming up in a few weeks' time and everything else like that. And this is going to look fantastic in my little diorama. So definitely highly recommended, because it's Bandai and let's face it, where can you go wrong? But also the quality of the kit, quality of the parts, the colouring, the way it goes together. Again, Bandai, you are my number one. Okay, so there we go. That is the 172nd Bandai A-Wing.